Hey there, everybody. It's me, the Queen Bee, Angie BEE, and I want to welcome you to the Moms in Ministry virtual workshop. This workshop is very different from any one that you've ever attended or viewed, and I'm excited to say that because sometimes parenting can feel like, oh, been there, done that. I know what I'm doing. But this workshop ain't like any other workshop you've attended. And parenting is unlike anything you've ever done in life. Anything. So I like to start off by giving you just a little bit of background about the Moms in Ministry workshop. First of all, we just celebrated our 10-year anniversary earlier this year in January. More than 10 years ago, the Lord gave me the idea that parenting can be more effective when you've got different aspects of parenting, when you've got different aspects of mothering. So what does that mean? When you've got opinions from your mother, that's one aspect of parenting. When you've got opinions from your grandmother, that's another aspect of parenting. And the third aspect of parenting could come from that neighbor down the street who's always looking out for you, or mother so-and-so such and such at the church, or even your teacher at the school. Parenting is not something that you take lightly, and it's not something that you need to feel like, oh, I got it. It's my baby. I'm going to do it this way. Because your baby one day going to grow up to be somebody else's something, and that may not be a good reflection upon the way they were raised. So I know it's summer vacation. I know it's a holiday weekend for some people. I know this is a time to relax for others, but we're going to kick off our Moms in Ministry workshop with a very special video from an educator, Vincent Taylor. He not only is a teacher, but he roller skates, he raps, and he's an author. And just his aspect of his love of teaching in this video will give you a completely different mindset about how mothers need to work with their teachers to raise their children. So this is I'm a Teacher by Vincent Taylor. Enjoy.
Oh man, it's been 27 years and I can't believe it. I'm still in love with this thing called teaching and learning. I mean, I never knew what type of impact that I would have on children's lives, but for that, I just want to say, thank God, I'm a teacher. I am a teacher. All I ever wanted to become a teacher. This will make a difference in my life. A teacher. If you're proud to be one, let me hear you say, I'm a teacher. I am a teacher. All I ever wanted to become a teacher. This will make a difference in my life. A teacher. If you're proud to be one, let me hear you say, I'm a teacher. Step into the room at last. Every student that I teach gon' pass. Yeah, we had a 1 to 23 ratio, but it doesn't matter. I'm committed. You could do the tricky math. How we gonna do that? Enthusiasm. You what a teacher gotta have. Enthusiasm. I ain't even trying to hear anything about who at risk or a bottom quartile list. Coming out the gate swinging, fighting for my students and I'm believing. Ain't no meaning, money, mo. No rock, paper, scissors or a glow. The real ones engage at the door. Hit it with an anticipatory hook. Always intentional, so you know they had to look. I'm committed 180 days, and all my teacher friends, man, they feel the same way. I am a teacher. All I ever wanted to become a teacher. Guess what made a difference in my life? A teacher. If you're proud to be one, let me hear you say, I'm a teacher. I am a teacher. All I ever wanted to become a teacher. Guess what made a difference in my life? A teacher. If you're proud to be one, let me hear you say, I'm a teacher. You can do lesson plans all weekend. Teach a lesson, hope the lesson is speaking. Kill the youth, making sure that it's true and truth. I got the formula. What is it? You wanna get it? Pursue. How you gonna do that?
Enthusiasm.
You what a teacher gotta have.
Enthusiasm.
I ain't even trying to hear anything about who at risk or a bottom quartile list. Gotta engage at the beginning. They gon' emulate your energy, so watch what you're sending. It could be the end before you get started. Miss whatever you do, don't put the standards before the heart. A gradual release will fall apart. Understand it by design. Backwards planted, that's a vibe, y'all. That's a vibe, y'all. If you know it, then you know it, that's a vibe, y'all. That's why I am a
teacher.
All I ever wanted to become
A teacher.
Guess what made a difference in my life?
A teacher.
If you're proud to be one, let me hear you say
I'm a teacher.
I am a
teacher.
All I ever wanted to become
A teacher.
Guess what made a difference in my life?
A teacher.
If you're proud to be one, let me hear you say
where you at?
California, New Jersey, Ohio,
I'm a teacher.
Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Florida.
I'm a teacher.
Virginia, Illinois, and Georgia.
I'm a teacher.
Louisiana and Maryland, Texas, New York.
I'm a teacher.
That's why I am a
teacher.
All I ever wanted to become
A teacher.
Guess what made a difference in my life?
A teacher.
If you're proud to be one, let me hear you say
I'm a teacher.
I am a
teacher.
All I ever wanted to become
A teacher.
Guess what made a difference in my life?
A teacher.
If you're proud to be one, let me hear you say
I'm a teacher.
I am a
teacher.
All I ever wanted to become
A teacher.
Guess what made a difference in my life?
A teacher.
If you're proud to be one, let me hear you say
I'm a teacher.
I am a
teacher.
All I ever wanted to become
A teacher.
Guess what made a difference in my life?
A teacher.
If you're proud to be one, let me hear you say
I'm a teacher.
And I'm the student.
Now, I want you to kind of keep this in mind, okay? If a teacher can be that excited about imparting something into your child, why don't you work with them and embrace what they have to share? Because they could be sharing something that you knew absolutely nothing about. Absolutely nothing. Okay, so I've got a couple of mothers that are joining me today, and I'm going to bring them in just a second. First, we have Teresa Jordan with Triumphant Magazine and now Triumphant Publications. Teresa has introduced a brand new book called A Mother's Heart, and I'm excited to be a part of it. I truly am. Then we have Mother Jacqueline. Oh, she is not only fabulous, but formative. You know, she would have been one of them mothers, you know, that looked at you and said, now, you know, you ain't supposed to be doing this, you know. And she is about to celebrate a milestone birthday in about a week. She just shared that with me. And so the book of Titus teaches us that the older women are supposed to teach the younger women. Don't be sitting around getting drunk. Don't be, you know, drink too much wine. Don't, you know, dress the part. You know, the older women are supposed to teach the younger women. However, with the moms in ministry, we're trying to encourage you that when you hear from wisdom, I'm not talking about, you know, the home girls on the street corner or the ones that got what you don't need. I'm not talking about that kind of wisdom. When you hear from true experience and wisdom, consider it, pray over it, apply it to your life, and share it with your child. Okay? That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying. Okay, so we're gonna bring Mother Jacqueline in first, and I'm just so grateful that you're here. Thank you, Mother Jacqueline. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I do. How are you today, Mother Jacqueline?
Hello. Okay, I need to click the unmute for real. Okay, I saw that. I was like, okay, I had to click that unmute.
That's all right. That's all right. This is new territory for each of us. I'm still looking for the house phone on the kitchen wall. So This is new for everybody. Mother Jacqueline, tell everybody where you live and tell us a little bit about you.
Okay, there seems to be an echo. Did I do something I shouldn't have done? Okay.
Let me see if I can do something about that. But
Okay.
You tell everybody where you're from. Let me see. Is that better? We want you to tell everybody where you're from.
Okay. All right. I am from born and raised in southern New Jersey. Okay. There seems to be a delay. That's why it's taking me a while to respond to you.
It's okay. I can wait for you. I tell you what, Mother Jacqueline, we're going to go to a quick commercial. You do me a favor and go out and come back in, and maybe that will help us out. Log off and then come back in, and we'll see if that works any better. You guys are watching Moms in Ministry.
Hi, my name is Sonia B, and I am very honored to be a guest on this show talking about single mothers. And I happen to be a senior single mother. Very, very blessed to have had my first and only daughter at 41. And I just want to talk to some of the single women out there who don't really know some of the things that I wish I had known when I first started. For every single mother, if your county or your state offers WIC, which is Women, Infant, and Children, I encourage you to apply for it while you're pregnant, because you can receive a nice little card that allows you to go and get juice, peanut butter, cereal, eggs until your child is 3 or 6, I think until she's 6. I was very, very blessed to have that. Hi, very, very blessed to have had my first and only daughter at 41. And I just want to talk to some of the single women out there who don't really know some of the things that I wish I had known when I first started. For every single mother, if your county or your state offers WIC, which is Women, Infant, and Children, I encourage you to apply for it while you're pregnant, because you can receive a nice little card that allows you to go and get juice, peanut butter, cereal, eggs until your child is 3 or 6, I think until she's 6. I was very, very blessed to have that, although WIC is only state-based. It is not the same as SNAP and EBT. I also want to encourage every mother that feels like child support should not be a mandatory thing, that it should be just if you decide to file for it. I think that it should be mandatory. You did not create your child by yourself. And for most of us, we can't take care of our children by ourselves. Child support should be something that is a mandatory mandate for every father or every mother, whoever is not the custodial parent. Even if you have joint custody, if you are not living together, then buying gym shoes or school supplies every now and then is not enough. I encourage every single mother to think about the future of your child and anything they may be missing out on by not having that other parent available 24 hours a day. I also wish that someone had told me that you're never ready to be a parent, whether you're single or custodial. There's never going to be a great financial time. There's never going to be a great time in your age range. There's never going to be a time that you say, today is the day to get pregnant. Today is the day to become a parent. I pray that you always think about the future for your child, and that you always encourage your child, and finally, that you always encourage yourself. Thank you, Angie BEE, for allowing me to say just a few words on your program. And again, my name is Sonia BEE. Take care.
Our travel partner this year is Stephanie Fowler. Call her for your arrangements at 470-331-1788. Now, stop what you're doing and check out our current sponsors and vendors. Bring your household items to donate to Fill the Box. Bring your appetite. Bone of My Bone Barbecue. Two Chicks Catering. Fried chicken. Shout out to Ruby Creations for bringing their baskets. Tanya Butler Williams with Ruby Ribbon Fashions. Meet Donna Gray Banks, founder and director of the Fresh Book Festival. Schedule a free consultation with AMBA representative Debbie Scarborough. And be sure to thank our very special official volunteers for the event, returning for their second year, the Bearded Villains of Jacksonville. Admission is only $10 per person. Get your tickets from any of our registered vendors and bring the family. Admission at the Museum of Arts and Science on that day is absolutely free. The 7th annual Bold, Beautiful, and Bald Weekend Retreat for Alopecia Awareness. Our theme this year is completion, keeping our faith over the struggle. Log on to boldbeautifulandbald.com for more information. Bold, beautiful, and 331-1788. The 7th annual Bold, Beautiful, and Bald Weekend Retreat for Alopecia Awareness. Our theme this year is completion, keeping our faith over the struggle. Log on to boldbeautifulandbald.com for more information. Bold, beautiful, and bald.
When it seemed like the world had stopped, as if our normal would never be again, Confinement Chronicles.
Still, there were those who held fast to hope. These are their stories. Teachers to dads to nurses on the front line. They have chronicled their messages of hope. Confinement Chronicles, now available. Order today on Amazon, also available in audiobook or at laderopress.com.
Confinement Chronicles.
To bring it in. Okay, so this next mother just retired in April of this year from 40 years of nursing. 40 years of nursing. And I'm pretty sure during that time she had to deal with some panicky mothers, some people that thought they knew it all and maybe didn't. But Avalon, I'm gonna bring you in. Thank you for being here, dear. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Happy to be.
Congratulations again on your retirement.
Thank you. Wonderful.
Listen, one of the questions that came in, I wanted to save it to give to you. The mother sounds like she's a younger mother. Well, I guess all of them gonna be young these days, but she said, when my baby gets sick, my mother just wants to come in and take over. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. What should I do? What should she do?
Well, my mother was around. She had retired by the time I was having children. So, of course, when my children got sick, I went to her. And, even though I was a nurse, sometimes mothers have those remedies other than the doctors, and they may work a little quicker or they work better. But as long as your mother not taking completely over, I would listen to her advice and then, listen to what the doctor say, your mother say, and try them both. It doesn't hurt to try what mom says. As long as she's not totally taking over, just give her a little leeway, I did that with my mom because my mom was retired and she was watching my children as I worked. And then I was working and going back to school at the same time. So, I didn't have a problem with her coming in. She didn't totally take over. She would give me some advice, some things to do because she was from the South and she knew a couple of things that, I didn't know. But as a young mother, our mothers know. Even with me, I can say that when my children got sick, I had a little something to say also. I didn't take totally over, but I wanted to try my remedies also in there. So this is something I think that happens. It's just a cycle. You can't be upset with it. You listen to it, you take it in. And then, mom is not there 24 hours a day. So if you decide to put your input and do, your way, then go ahead. But, give mom a little leeway. Because I surely have mine with my children's children, my grandchildren.
Yeah, you're right. Give her a little leeway because she's hurting too.
Yes.
That's her grandbaby.
Yes.
And we don't mean no harm.
No.
We just we just trying to help. My thing is always, and when I hear myself say that, I sound just like my mother. I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, so we had 2 seasons, spring and winter. I don't know where fall went. I don't know where, but it seemed like we always had winter. And my mom would always say, "You got to put a hat on that baby's head. That baby gonna catch the croup. That baby gonna catch." And I'm like, "What? How you spell croup and what is it?" So, now I live in Florida and I'm still the same way. Can we put a hat on that baby? The sun is gonna bake that baby's head.
Yes.
So, Tell me something from a nurse's point of view, Avalon, that you see maybe moms doing that if they would tweak it just a little bit, they may have less of a health issue with their child.
I didn't work much around in pediatrics, so I didn't deal too much with the moms and the children. I mean, I can only like base it watching my children, my grandchildren around my children. And sometimes they don't want to hear what you have to say. I mean, like, even like, I have a thing with giving them too much cough syrup. Now, I tried something with one of my grandchildren because you have to try different things. And she came and she was spending the night and she was coughing a lot. So I think I might have got this idea from my son because he tried it on himself. So I said, oh, let me try it on his daughter. I took a menthol cough drop and put it in some tea and let it melt. And when she drank it, she didn't cough anymore that night. So different things work with different children. So I mean, even though I'm a nurse, I try to get to know myself, or I don't. I'm gonna say it. I don't follow everything the doctor tells me. Sometimes I play around with other little things. You have to see what works with a person's body. So I'm not telling you not to take the doctor's medicine. I'm just telling you sometimes, you have to see how this thing is working with, whatever they give you. You have to see how different things work. And this is how I deal with the children, or one of my grandchildren, they come over. I might have an ideal, like I said, with the tea, and that worked for them. So, you have to kind of get to know and pay attention. You got to pay close attention to what's going on sometime when you have illnesses, because some things will work and some things won't work.
All right, I'm going to bring Mother Jacqueline in. And Mother Jacqueline, I want you to answer the same question, if you could. Come off mute for me, Mother Jacqueline, and let us know, is there anything that you see these young parents doing that you think if they did a little differently, their child's health would benefit from it?
Yes. Yes, indeed. Years ago, decades ago, I was working a parenting program in the city where I was tell everybody that I now live in Arizona, been here almost 25 years. So let's get that straight first of all. Can't do that snow anymore. All right. So I started a parenting program in our city, and I found out that a lot of the young parents, young mothers especially, it was always like, nobody going to tell my children what to do. I'm the mom. Don't be telling my children what to do. And I said, wait a minute now. It takes a whole village, honey. It takes a whole village to raise the child, to celebrate the child, to be there for the child. I said, and even if it's a small village and just your family, it's important to know that they're like she said, they're not around us all the time. And somebody is going to say something or do something or live in such a way that they're going to be impacted and inspired and encouraged by it. It takes a whole village. So I created this game. I actually did a board game that I'm working on, something else I'm working on, to teach young parents that it takes the whole village, that you don't know where they're going to be. It could be the bus driver, the grocery store man, the teacher, the next door neighbor. Somebody's going to impact that child's life and be the reason why they decided to become or take the careers or do the things that they're doing. So I would let them know that it takes a whole village, and not just to raise them, but to celebrate them, to love on them, to encourage them. It's very important. And even though we don't think we had that. Somebody somewhere said something, did something, encouraged us, pushed us. And that's why we made a decision to either do something or to not do something. Okay. So it's very important for young people to know that.
Can I inject something else?
Yes, please. Come on.
Okay. This is just my belief. And, there's other people that would agree with me. Our children today are too immobile. They're not active and outside like we were. A lot of the parents, young parents, don't want their kids to get dirty. We was rolling in dirt. Um, but the kids now, they have so much video games. They're not moving around as much. They probably don't know the games we played, like hopscotch, kick the can, tag, and all that. All of that is like running around. We ran around, played kickball. We went in the playground. Most
Yes.
now are just with the video games. So they're not, this is all part of health too. Even as older adults, we know that we got to be mobile. So I mean, the kids not as mobile as they used to be as we were. We were outside, like you almost kicked outside by 10, 12 o'clock, especially in the summer. And you're out there playing all day until the lights go down. And I think this has a lot to do. Then our parents gave us that, I know mine did, that spoonful of either Scotch emotion or what's this other stuff?
Scotch what?
Yeah, it's something like I can't cod liver oil. Yeah, I had cod liver oil every day. I wasn't a sickly child. I was not a sickly child. I gave it to my children too. I barely had to take them to the doctor. So it's just these type of things, that so much different now from the healthy. The kids are so sick now. I do see a lot of sick kids coming in with all this respiratory because I was like monitoring the pediatric floor, even though I didn't work with them. I monitored them as an infection control nurse. And the floor stayed full of children, small children all the time with respiratory this, respiratory that, all types of things. So I think the mobility plays a big part in our children too.
Wow. I I was always grateful for my mother because she talked about she was born in 45. Yeah, 1945. And she talked about how my grandmother gave her cod liver oil and she was never going to give me that stuff. But I was a sickly child. So I guess I guess it did have something to do with that. Yeah. Yeah. Sister Teresa, we'd love to hear from you when you're ready. You can come on in. We are watching the Spirit of the Lord move through this broadcast because so many comments and questions are coming in. I truly don't want to ignore anybody. Very special shout out to Dr. Stephanie Fowler, who is watching us. She is the founder of the Professional Women of Excellence National Chapter, a very, very dear friend of this ministry. She is the reason Moms in Ministry is an award-winning ministry because her organization blessed us with a community outreach award. And Dr. Stephanie, can you believe we're celebrating 10 years of the Moms in Ministry? Dr. Stephanie traveled with us to present the Moms in Ministry workshop at one point, and I'm grateful for it. Shout out to Sophia Pace, my little chocolate drop over in Florida. She is one of my delightful Alopecian sisters, and she is always with the Bold, Beautiful, and Bald Beauty Bazaar. She's the cutest little model. And so we invite you to go visit the website, Bold, Beautiful, and Bald. You'll see her and me and about 20, 30 others. And we are preparing to gather again in Daytona Beach, Florida, September 14th through the 17th this year. We'll tell you more about that. Now, Teresa, before I bring you in, I want people to know Teresa is one of those very special mothers. Teresa, out of her own mouth, talks about how she inherited her children. She lost her sister and she took in her sister's children. So she also talks about how she and her husband were kind of newlyweds at the time too. So Mother Jacqueline and Avalon, I'm going to put you backstage and bring Teresa in just for a few minutes so she can tell us, hey, Teresa, how you doing? Where you at? What you doing? And
Thank you for having me. And I want to first start off by saying congratulations on celebrating 10 years. Like you said, with Moms in Ministry, definitely a much needed ministry. So thank you for having it out there.
Thank you, God. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, God. So I know that we talk about how you inherited your children, but now you have an empty house. You raised
Yes.
them. And then what what does that feel like?
It feels really great. It feels rewarding because I feel like God allowed many women to pour into my life, and He gave us the opportunity to pay it forward. Many times sometimes we pay it forward, and then sometimes we don't. But I thank God for choosing. He chose my husband and I to be able to pour into my nephew and niece, and just to see the magnificent things that He's doing in their lives. It's very rewarding.
Wow. I just can't believe that they all gone. I mean,
Yes.
wow. Now we always talk about um the testimony of a good man that we know whose mother died when he was 8 or 9, and his aunt left her home and her state and moved in with the nieces and nephews and raised them. And that wasn't you. You brought them to your home. I
Absolutely.
I cannot imagine that. You was a newlywed. You probably only had
4 years we were together.
oh,
Yeah, so it was
wow.
brand new. As my pastor say, new.
Yeah. 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 Was there anything that when you think about it, that you could have done differently, or if you knew then what you know now, you would have done differently with them?
I would say with my niece, well, I would say we pretty much did everything we could do as far as being new parents to them. Like I thank God, like how somebody was saying earlier, it does take a village. And we had somebody, through the Boys and Girls Club, which was my evangelist through the church, that poured into, to my niece and also my nephew. They were able to go to different programs, be able to see different things. And then with Catherine, she also went to a college program at Daytona State, which was truly a blessing. So she was awarded, recognized, and they prepared her to be able to go to college.
Really?
And then, like with Robert, he was able to go to Man's Up, which is the program that they have in D-Land, Florida, which I believe Sean King is the one that runs it. So he was able to be a part of that. So I would say all the organizations out there were able to pour into them. And then also like the NAACP, they have a youth organization that allowed the young people to take leadership.
Mm.
So taking advantage of the resources that are out there. And then even like with yourself, Evangelist Angie BEE, like Robert, he has the writing potential. And during the time that we had the pandemic, those 2 years, he was able to do his writing and have it put into an audio book. So just using the resources and leveraging it to be able to be a blessing to our children.
Yeah. We cannot continue to say, that's my baby.
Yeah.
That's my.
That's right.
We cannot. We cannot. Okay, Teresa, I'm gonna put you backstage for just a little bit because we've got a couple of things that we want to show you. First, there is an adorable little book that is now available. It's called I Love My Daddy. It was written by Juanita Banks Whittington, and we're going to show you the commercial for it. Keep in mind, we understand Mother's Day is gone, we understand Father's Day is gone, but kids need to be read to and need to be educated all the time. So this is some information about a book that I hope each of you decide to add to your library.
I love my daddy. He gives me hugs and kisses when he wakes me up. He helps me make mommy's tea in the morning. He always reads a book to me before bedtime.
I Love My Daddy is a heartwarming children's book about the special bond between a little girl and her father. It follows a day in the life of a little girl and her daddy. Produced for audiobook by Angie BEE Productions.
Narrated by me, Ramona Young.
And narrated by me, the Queen Bee, Angie BEE. You know, I was watching a movie last night on Disney Plus. I'm not even going to tell y'all the name of the movie. Yeah, I am. I was watching Hamilton, the movie. And yes, I've seen it before. And yes, I know most of the story, right? But last night was different because it was the sing-along version. Now, if you don't have Disney Plus, you don't know what sing-along is. The sing-along is when they put the words at the bottom of the screen and they got a little bouncing star so you can sing right along. Now, normally with a Disney movie, okay, that's no big deal. But with Hamilton, they was rapping better than Busta Rhymes. So I had to pause it a couple times and rewind it and listen to it again, and gave a whole different aspect of the movie, right? Whole different aspect. Now, I know Hamilton is talking about the founding fathers of this country, and I know they bring it back around because it's 4th of July weekend, and I know. But what I also know is the vocals, the singing in that movie is whoo. I'm calling my daddy as soon as this broadcast is over and tell him, Daddy, you need to just check out the singing. I ain't gonna want to watch that. I know that's what he gonna say, but I'm gonna connect with the inner dad. My dad loves history. If you ever go to the city of Detroit, let me know. My daddy will take you on a grand tour of his 78 plus years in Detroit. He'll tell you about the plants, the Cadillac and Chrysler, and he'll tell you about all that. He'll tell you about the regentrification, you know, when the white folks moved in, black folks moved out. But what I have learned is that I've got to reach my daddy where he is. I can't just tell him, oh, Daddy, this is a good movie, you need to watch it. I got to appeal to what he likes, okay? And then he'll be like, okay, I'll check it out. So if I could figure that out with my daddy, I'm saying sometimes you need to figure that out with your child. If your child loves to cook, you need to be hungry sometimes. If your child likes to put stuff together, you need to have some stuff that's broken sometimes. Anything that you can do to help you relate to that child, not criticize that child, but relate to that child and be able to allow them to feel like there is a connection without, oh, mama and grandmama, y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand. We have a very special viewer from our midst. Maisha Barnett is watching, and so Sister Jacqueline, she says she loves us, and we certainly do love her. Maisha helped us not only publish the book Worthy Women, but she also prayed us into Amazon #1 best-selling authors. And so, Maisha, I thank you for that. It's wonderful just to see that the book is available for people, and people are excited about it. More than we could have asked or we could have thought about. And so thank you for that. Thank you. Maisha is just a truly anointed little gem, and I'm happy to have her in my life. Okay, Sister Jacqueline and Avalon and Teresa, I'm going to bring y'all back on camera. It is time to answer some questions. Now, this part of the broadcast may be kind of strange because the questions have come in through text and y'all don't even know them. So if I ask you a question and you want to pass, just just say I pass. But but I don't think any of us really are going to pass because we have hearts of a mother, and we are worthy women, and we want to help, okay? So the first question that came in actually was presented to me maybe 2 or 3 days ago. There is a young mother in our midst. I believe her baby is maybe 10, 11 months old. Okay. Brand new mother. The baby is standing up and pulling up and kind of, but hasn't taken her first step yet. But you can tell them legs getting strong, right? And so mother wanted to know when's a good time to start putting pull-ups on the baby. Avalon, I'm gonna let you go first. What you know about a pull-up, and when do you think it's time?
Oh, it depends on how advanced your children are, I think, because both my children started walking at 10 months. And I don't even think pull-ups was around when I had children. I know they were around when the grandchildren, but I can't really say what's the best time. I think the best time to wear the pull-ups is like, okay, because I tried to do potty training early. I know my daughter, she was doing potty training early with her children also.
Now wait, how early is early?
With me, I'm gonna say like between 12 and 14 months, I was trying to potty train. My son, his father potty trained him at the toilet because we had that step. So he trained the way a boy would train. He didn't actually sit on the potty. He didn't learn that way. My daughter, so they were kind of fast, but my grandchildren, it depends now. There's like 7 grandchildren, so I really can't tell you. But for me, pull-ups, I think that it depends on how advanced for me that they are. As soon as you see them pulling them diapers off, I would put them pull-ups on. Because to me, it kind of tells you that, I'm kind of tired of these diapers. We got to, that's when I would do it. As soon as I see them pulling at that diaper, I would do the pull-ups.
Okay. Thank you. Sister Jacqueline. Now I'm not trying to age you or anything, Sister Jacqueline, but I know when my mother was teaching me about babies, I was like, well, we got to get the Pampers. She was like, baby, we can't afford them. Let me teach you how to do a cloth diaper. You fold, you get these giant safety pins and the plastic, little pant. So, Mother Jacqueline, what do you have any thoughts for this?
I did all of that. But I'm trying to tell you, I had these twins. Can we talk? My third pregnancy was a set of beautiful twins, a boy and a girl. And let me tell you, when my pull-up program came into place, I had put them in their cribs. They were about 9 months. And you know how you like, what is that smell? And I was looking around. Girl, I flew into the bedroom. They had pulled off. Stuff was everywhere. They had wiped the whole crib and the roof. They was both cribs, everything. I'm screaming to my husband, come here. And we had to grab babies, put them in a tub, wipe and bleach down everything. So my pampered pull-up situation showed up right about then. And I was like, okay, because I was doing both the cloth diapers. They would deliver to the house. I had a adult cloth diaper program, and I had the pamper thing. But I said, okay, we got to learn how to do this. We're going to have to work this out. We can't have y'all stripping and painting the room. So that's when my pull-up situation showed up. Them twins, child, I survived that thing, child. Them twins, can we say, I don't say double trouble. I say double teachings. I don't know what to call them, but they were special.
But in both cases, so I would say, the child will let you know.
The child will tell you what they need. I mean, really, they will tell you when they need certain things. Pay attention to what they're doing. Like if they're feeling like, if they're kind of moving around and they don't like she said, wearing something and they want to strip and take it off, that means they're telling you they're ready to potty train and do all the things. So they're teaching you, what to do.
Mm-hmm. All right,
Yep.
Sister Teresa, I know you may not have had the diaper changing situation, or did you? Tell.
I work at the school a lot with little babies. So like the lady
Okay.
just said, they'll let you know. They'll let you know that they need to go to the bathroom, and you just have to pay attention to the signs. Like she said, how the ladies just mentioned, if they show that they're trying to take it off, that lets you know that they're ready to start doing things. Like, go to the bathroom on their own, and they're able to have the strength to not do the number one or number two. They're able to do things sufficiently. But
Okay.
also, like working at the school, you also need to know that the parents are doing the same. Because if you're doing it at school and they're doing the opposite at home, then there's like a little conflict there. So you have to both make sure you're on the same page with one another.
Got to be consistent. Okay. Oh,
Consider-
okay. Okay. So the next question comes in, and it's kind of similar to your consistency comment, Teresa, but this mother says, when I'm out, I don't want to have to take my child to the bathroom. So I tell them to just go in their pull up until we get home. My mother says I shouldn't be doing this. What do you think? Mother, Mother Jacqueline, we're going to let you go first.
Well, she doesn't, probably doesn't even, she's not aware that she's mentally training this soul, this individual. Although the child is a child, the child is going to grow up with this program about how to handle things in life. It's not just the bathroom situation. It's going to be everything. And so she's going to have to find a way to, I know she doesn't want to do public bathrooms. She's probably a lot of reasons why she doesn't want to do that. So they probably should go before they leave home and not be drinking a bunch of stuff. And teach them, you want to teach them how to hold it. We want to have that control too in our bladders and things. We don't want to go like that. So I believe she needs to find a way to handle the situation, change it up, pivot, don't go to the bathroom before they could leave the house or whatever, and then don't drink a lot of liquids. Pay attention and teach them that even when they become older, you don't want to be drinking a lot of liquids at 15, 16, 20, 60 or whatever, to have to run to any public bathrooms every time you go out the door. So she just needs to find a way to just evolve into that.
Okay.
So there's some pros and cons with both of it. You want to teach them how to train them hold things, but also you want to teach them not to hold that, because that's going to destroy their physical bladder. As an herbalist, you don't want them to help. You want to teach their body how to be in control. Yes.
My daughters right now will be like, I don't want to get a UTI, so let me go to the bathroom. Let me go. I get it. So Sister Avalon, what is your thought about what this mother is doing?
I mean, mine is close to Jacqueline. I mean, personally, like you said, with the UTI, and if she's really that worried, especially I understand with all this different stuff going on now today. Find a bathroom that has, it depends on what age she's talking about her child, what age. I mean, you can find a bathroom that has those tables. Take you some sanitary cloths, wipe it down, change the towel, because if it's real hot in the summer and they're carrying that urine, then you have a chance of breaking down UTIs. Little children, I've seen babies diagnosed with UTIs. Now, why? I don't know, but I mean, you're talking having a rash, whatever, but take some wipes with you, clean down something that you can take and clean down the area. Wipe it down good, because for me, I kind of don't like the idea of making the child hold it, even if it's programming them. If I think that they're wet like that, I have to change them. That's just me. I have to carry extra stuff with me, wipe down the area, wipe down the child, take wipes that I can wipe the child, and just make sure your area clean. But to have them hold it like that, I don't know. That wouldn't be me.
Oh,
That's something I couldn't do.
okay, Teresa, you got something to contribute either from your parenting experience or the students at the school? What are you seeing?
I would say that, you definitely don't want them to hold it because, number one, if I had to go to the bathroom, I wouldn't want nobody telling me to hold it. So we have to train the children the right way. I mean, there's occasions at the school where a kid may have to go to the bathroom and then maybe 20 minutes later they say they have to go. And if you don't let them go, then they will have an accident. We've had occasions where, the kid know whether they need to go to the bathroom. And it's that parent's responsibility, regardless of whether they want to do it or not, to take that kid to the bathroom. Like the lady said, make sure you have a cleansing thing. If you worried about germs and stuff, take Lysol, take wipes, do whatever you need to do to make sure that kid is comfortable. And in the long run, you'll be more comfortable with the situation as well.
That's good. That's good, and I'm grateful for
Well,
it.
that's why I was saying there's both a pro and a con, because sometimes you have to hold it enough, have control over your bladder. It's a muscle. So you have to be able to hold it to get to the bathroom. Maybe it's not right next door. Maybe it's down the hallway in school. Maybe you have to go into a public place up the ladder in the elevator or some, escalator stairs. So you want to be able to teach your bladder, because it's a muscle, to hold it to the point, but not to just let it go. Just as soon as you get a sensation, you don't want to let it just release and go. You want to be able to have control over your body, because your body will listen to your mind. At the same time, you don't want to hold it all day or hold it for a long time, but you want to be able to practice, not just, not having any control over it, but at the same time, but you don't want them to hold it and hurt themselves. And then at the same time, you don't want to be wet all day, because that'll cause skin issues and all other issues too.
So we have to just
That's why I said she's got to
thinking
figure out how to not do some
Yeah.
preventive, be very preventive. Figure out how to be
I'm-
preventive so she don't have to deal with all of that.
Right. I'm just wondering, as children, because I know as an adult, if I hold it too long, my stomach hurts. I don't know if children feel the same thing. Just that kind of thought. Yeah.
That's why I was saying, because you you don't want them to just go because they feel like going at the moment. Because if they have to go down some stairs, down the hallway, or find the bathroom, they need to be able to go, okay, hold it, till they get to where they got to go. That's what I'm talking about, having that balance, was very important. After having twins and four kids at one time in public, but child, I'm just trying to say.
Oh Lord. Okay, before we go on to the next question, I'm gonna tell y'all what I learned from my mother. My mother
If there's a
loved.
line, you know how there's a line in the bathroom?
Oh goodness, yeah. You got to learn to hold it for the line. My mother loved Walt Disney World.
I'm just saying, because if you hold the kid in the line in the bathroom, you got to. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. My mother loved Walt Disney World, and I remember she took us a couple of times from Michigan to Florida, and it's probably why I live in Florida now, because she loved it. But anytime we went to the mall, an amusement park, any public area, if we walking around, if she saw a bathroom, come on, let's go try. I know we just went at the last bathroom, but let's go try anyway. And that just annoyed the bejesus out of me, but it let me know she was thinking about me. So think about your child. Think about how they can't hold it as long as we can, okay? And think about how they're probably enjoying being with you. They don't want to have to stop to go, but you don't want to have to clean them up if they have an accident. So if you see a bathroom, come on. We just gonna try. Before the movie start, we gonna try. Soon as the movie's over, before we head home, we gonna try. All right, I'm gonna put you ladies backstage for just a little bit. I know a couple of us need some water and probably a peppermint or something in my mouth. I know that we have another question that's coming up, and it's a difficult question. So I'm going to give it to you ladies now so you can be thinking about it and contemplating it. We've got more and more young people that are communicating to their parents that they want counseling, they need counseling. Somebody touched them inappropriately. somebody said something suggestive to them, somebody hurt them, something happened to your child, and your child is coming to you to say, this is what happened to me. So the statement that came in was, my daughter said that my brother touched her. Who should I believe? So I texted back and said, how old is the daughter? She said the daughter is 3. So I need y'all to think about that, pray over that. We got a couple of things that I want to introduce to you, and we'll be back in just a minute. God, why didn't you stop him? What do you do when it seems as if the God you were taught about is absent to you? What if the man you loved and would do anything for violated you and your trust? What if that man is a family member? What if that family member is your dad? You are broken. Your relationships are destroyed. Your life appears to be in pieces. Your thought process is destroyed, so you think. You don't trust men anymore because your earthly dad messed that up for you. Not to mention your trust in a man you were taught to believe in that you've never seen before allowed it to happen. You go to counseling during your trial that never helped you mentally. You stay on the defensive because after telling your stepmom about what happened to you, she tells you you're lying. The family members pretend they believe you, but secretly they speak that you are lying and even talk about you behind your back. Then, after you move away from the abuse, the grandmother who introduced God to you tells you that you're lying on her son and that you had to ask God to forgive you for your accusations/sin. She wants you to go to the same God that was there every time her son touched you and ask for forgiveness of what he knew to be true. Your world is spiraling out of control and you no longer want to live. So one day, the pain was too great and you decide you're going to try praying to God one more time. A while after praying, you realize that you do want to live and no longer wish to die. The pain that you once felt is now gone. The memory of your past is there, but the pain associated with it is not. Then you ask, after all that, but God, why me? God, why didn't you stop him? Written by Trevina George, BSN RN. Produced for audiobook by Angie BEE Productions. And narrated by me, the Queen Bee, Evangelist Angie BEE.
Hi, my name is Sonia B, and I am very honored to be a guest on this show talking about single mothers. And I happen to be a senior single mother. Very, very blessed to have had my first and only daughter at 41. And I just want to talk to some of the single women out there who don't really know some of the things that I wish I had known when I first started. For every single mother, if your county or your state offers WIC, which is Women, Infant, and Children, I encourage you to apply for it while you're pregnant, because you can receive a nice little card that allows you to go and get juice, peanut butter, cereal, eggs until your child is 3 or 6, I think until she's 6. I was very, very blessed to have that, although WIC is only state-based. It is not the same as SNAP and EBT. I also want to encourage every mother that feels like child support should not be a mandatory thing, that it should be just if you decide to file for it. I think that it should be mandatory. You did not create your child by yourself. And for most of us, we can't take care of our children by ourselves. Child support should be something that is a mandatory mandate for every father or every mother, whoever is not the custodial parent. Even if you have joint custody, if you are not living together, then buying gym shoes or school supplies every now and then is not enough. I encourage every single mother to think about the future of your child and anything they may be missing out on by not having that other parent available 24 hours a day. I also wish that someone had told me that you're never ready to be a parent, whether you're single or custodial. There's never going to be a great financial time. There's never going to be a great time in your age range. There's never going to be a time that you say, today is the day to get pregnant. Today is the day to become a parent. I pray that you always think about the future for your child, and that you always encourage your child, and finally, that you always encourage yourself. Thank you, Angie BEE, for allowing me to say just a few words on your program. And again, my name is Sonia BEE. Take care.
No one laughs like I do.
Disclaimer: I am not a doctor, therapist, or psychologist. I am someone who has overcome childhood abuse, and God has gifted me with the ability to speak to children. This book is part of a series entitled Footprint Book Series. These books are intended to be used by teachers, doctors, therapists, psychologists, social workers, counselors, advocates, and parents to help children open up about an event in their life that they wouldn't otherwise be able to put into words. Children will be able to identify with what is in this book. I pray this book will give the child a voice to begin the conversation with what they have experienced, to begin their emotional healing process. A child can't articulate what has been done or said to them. Their minds can't process it or explain it. They will be able to see themselves in each story being told. They will know that they are not alone, and someone does understand what they are going through. I Am Special. Written by Ivy Caldwell. produced for audiobook by Angie BEE Productions, narrated by me, the Queen Bee, Angie BEE. That's a rough book to read. I had the honor of narrating it for the audiobook, and the audiobook is coming soon. Thank you, Sister Trevina, for allowing me to do that. But that was a rough book. From a parenting side, it was rough, because I believe every parent that was depicted in that book could have done something different. So, Teresa, if it's okay with you, I want to bring you in, because you're in the school system. You may have experienced something like this. What does the school district in Florida tell you to do if a child comes and says something inappropriate has happened to them?
You're responsible for reporting it as soon as possible to like, say, the principal or to the teacher or somebody. You need to report it as soon as possible.
So there's no question, well, how and why, and there is nothing. You report it.
You report it.
Yeah. It almost sounds like, in the state of Florida, if you're trying to harm yourself or somebody else, they'll Baker Act you, which is the law that says they need to put you in a mental health facility for on a 72-hour hold. No questions asked. You just, that's just what you do. But from a parent's point of view, Teresa, have you experienced parents, their reaction to their child saying something? What do the parents say?
Sometimes it just depends on the parents. Sometimes some of them don't want to believe that it's happening in their household, or most of the time when it does happen, it's like how you mentioned, it's somebody that's close to you, somebody that you trust to be in the environment of your kid, that they take advantage of their kid. Because kids are the most innocent things. They're innocent until that part of them is taken away from them, where somebody try to rob their innocency away.
I know that you and I are both ordained ministers, and I know sometimes the church has a stand on how to operate, and sometimes they don't. I was trained as the religious liaison with a chapter of the Boy Scouts before the pandemic. And during that training, it was told, be sure the child is okay and report it. So if the child is like dirty or bloody or injured, tend to that as quickly as you can, but report it. And I just don't get it. I don't get it, how somebody could not want to believe a child.
They're the most innocent ones, so kids will tell you what's on their mind. So you should believe them. Like you said, they're not going to make up a story on anybody. Most of the time, they're going to tell you the truth. Yeah.
Sister Avalon, I'm going to bring you in because, from a nurse's perspective, you've probably seen, well, I don't know. What's your experience on children reporting something inappropriate, and how should a parent respond when that child reports it? I know. Oh, wait, you still on mute, honey. Let's take yourself off mute. Yeah.
Okay.
This is a rough one.
That's hard to say. For a 3 year, if she's saying a 3-year-old, that's a little hard, because I would, if they're 3, I would need to have the child show me exactly how she was touched. And I would have to watch the situation a little closer I mean, if they're a little older, because I have had this happen in my family. Um, if they're a little older, like they were like 9 or 10, it had to be reported right away.
Oh,
Right away.
goodness. Yeah.
Counseling had to be done,
Yeah.
and I'm all for that. Like that has to be reported right away. But a
Yeah.
3-year-old, I think I would have to, especially if it's the brother, I would have to, for me as a nurse, I would probably examine the kid, or, I have to ask the kid where they were touched, how they were touched, because they can also point to where they were touched. And then I would have to like watch the situation a little closer, because you're talking about a sister and a brother. Not that I wouldn't believe them, but I need to watch it. But an older child, 9 or 10, I believed it. I believed it. It was reported right away. And it was handled. It was handled. So, I mean, that's how.
And I really do appreciate you for saying that that it could differentiate based on the age of the child. And I'm responding to the text because I knew about a situation where there was a child that was in daycare. I don't think the child was 2. I don't think, if I remember correctly. And I don't remember how the conversation came up, but the child told the daycare provider that she has sex with her mommy every day. So, of course, the daycare provider contacted the mother and said, hey, I'm about to report this. The mother contacted me for prayer and say, what should I do about it? I said, well, let her report it. Let it get investigated. If you don't let it get investigated, you look guilty. But if you do, let them report it and investigate it. You're doing the best thing for your child. Come to find out, this little baby was watching TV and saw 2 people kissing and thought that's what sex was. So she was bragging to say she was having. And so I'm glad that you offered that difference in ages. You're right. A 9-10-year-old probably knows exactly what they're talking about. But a little baby probably can't, ain't even got a clue. And so the moral of that story is do what Avalon says. Okay, Jacqueline, we're going to bring you in. What do you think, Jacqueline, of if a child says they need counseling or they experience something inappropriate? What do you do, and how do you do it?
I believe you believe it, because as a person who was molested by their father at 11 and 12, being able to tell my mother, and because I was a fighter, and I was like, when he came into my room, I was just hysterical. I was an hysterical mess. I'm fighting and I'm carrying on, and I spent 24 hours afterwards in terror. I finally went to my mother to tell her what was going on, and she had some uncles come to the house, and when they got done with my father, it was like, they bought a shotgun. Are you crazy? Back in the day. But I still was never comfortable. I said, Mommy, if you don't get us out this house, this man is abusive, he's crazy. And I really knew in my spirit, in my mind, as a young girl, he was probably touching my sister, because she was always walking around with money. And I got money. I'm like, where are you getting this money from? Yeah. Because that's what these pedophiles and these people that have sexual issues and problems with. And even though he was my father, he had some issues. Okay,
I'm somebody's mama, and I got issues. Yeah.
And so when my uncles came to deal with him, my great uncles, they crying because he don't remember none, because you drunk out your mind, being crazy. So when a child or a young person says something, please hear them and then pay attention. What is the brother like? What is his behavior? You know your family. You can get stuff in your gut. You have something in your spiritual knower. We have discernment. So what's going on with pay attention to the personality and the energy of the brother. And then watch the child, because my daughter, youngest daughter, when my ex-husband would bathe her as a child, what was going on, him giving her a bath, but her personality shifted as a toddler. And I was like, what is wrong with my baby? She was just outgoing, happy little something. But you can pay attention to the shifting. There's something that's going to change when a human being at any age is violated, is approached out of order, doesn't have that, they don't have a comfortableness. Something was, even the slightest thing will shift and change. So I used to pray a lot for my children at night. When I would put them to bed, I would talk to God. Talk to me about these babies, these souls. Tell me about their personalities, Lord. Let me pay attention to who they are. Let me see if there's a change or a shift. If somebody anywhere, I would want the Lord to teach me who they are so I can notice if there's something was going on. So yes, believe it and check it out, investigate it. But more than anything, I'm like, what was the brother like? What is he like? What is their dynamics as a relation in their relationship, the little girl and the brother? What kind of energy do they have when they're around each other? What is he like as a person? To know who to believe, we kind of have a sixth sense as women, especially. We discern things, but we want to. It's hard. It's hard to believe that a family member would harm somebody that means everything to you.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. This is heavy, but parenting is heavy. Mothering is heavy. It's not always fun. It's not always clean. It's not always cute and pretty. It can be very expensive, and it can be challenging. But I want to play this commercial about a mother's heart, and then we're going to bring Teresa Jordan back in, and I want to hear more about why we now have this book and why it was important for her. So I'll be right back. A Mother's Heart, an anthology by visionary Teresa Jordan, featuring 9 phenomenal co-authors. This book is created for men and women around the world. It is dedicated to mothers from the past, present, and future. We thank you for your resilience, strength, and unconditional love. We honor you for the countless times you have been problem solvers, held things together, and became a superwoman to many. You are appreciated, and your great work and contributions will continue to be celebrated. Quote, "But Jesus beheld them and said unto them, With men this is impossible, but with God all things are possible." End quote. Matthew chapter 19, verse 26. Our prayer is that these powerful stories will transform your life, creating pivotal moments for you, and also be responsible for leaving permanent marks in your heart. Our prayer is that every story is an inspiration to you going forth. A Mother's Heart, compiled by Triumphant Magazine, published by Triumphant Magazine Publishing, promotional support by Angie BEE Productions, and narrated by me, the Queen Bee, Evangelist Angie BEE. A Mother's Heart. An anthology. I'm honored to be a part of that book. And Sister Teresa, I want you to come in, please. Why? Why A Mother's Heart? Where did it come from?
A Mother's Heart actually came from God, and he actually just started dealing with me last year. We did like a vision board, and God allowed me to write it down that we would have a Mother's Heart in 2023. And I thought it was so important to put out there because we have so many mothers out there that needed to be recognized for, showing their unconditional love towards us, being unstoppable in every season, just showing their determination is something that needed to be paid forward to other generations to come.
Thank you, sweetheart. I'm thrilled. Now, the book launch, I know we did a virtual book launch. Tell me, what's the next step for the book, and how can people get a copy of it?
Okay, so the next step, we should be getting our delivery any day. We're looking at probably the next 2 weeks. We should officially have our books, A Mother's Heart. So you want to get in touch with all the phenomenal co-authors. They'll be able to get it to you. They'll be able to autograph it and mail it out to you. And you can also send an email to A Mother's Heart 2023 at gmail.com. But like I said, the best contact is getting in touch with the phenomenal authors.
That's good. That's good. And yes, I do see a comment that someone will be purchasing. So thank you so much. It says friends and families know that their favorite gift to give are books. And so this viewer is filling up their gift closet with books now for Christmas. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's wonderful.
And I wanted to say one other thing. When it was June 2021, my nana had turned 88 years old, and she and I was having a conversation with each other in a room. And her main thing to me was make sure my name is nobody forgets my name or the fact that I was here on this earth. Amen. And I promised her at that time that I wouldn't allow it to just slip as if she wasn't here. And that was motivation to make sure, it was pulled out, and God did what he needed to do with it.
Absolutely. And now that Avalon is an experienced published author with the copyright, she was talking to me today about copyrights. Now your grandmother's name is going to live on, at least in the Library of Congress copyright, for another 70 years or more. So, oh my goodness, that is wonderful. That is wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of it. The clip that I played earlier where I'm talking about my mother, my daughter walked in and heard part of it. She was like, yeah, that's Granny. And so I think that's how we keep them alive.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now listen, Teresa, I know you had a long day. I don't want to keep you much longer. I'm going to put you backstage. If you can stay for the next question, that'll be great. I'm going to tell you what it is. You decide. But if you got to go, I understand.